voiceless. The adults' motivations aside, at least for us kids, these were supposed to be a fun couple of days where we cousins deepened our friendship. However, when we woke up, there was an unbelievably cruel reality waiting for us. George and Nikki and Jessica were crying over Shannon-chan and Kanakun's deaths. Right now, everyone who was alive was gathered in the lobby on the first floor of the guest house. And there were 12 of us. Unbelievable, right? There were 18 up until yesterday. And in one night, a third of that number had lost their lives. My agitation had finally settled down, and along with my lack of sleep from being woken up so early in the morning, I was beginning to feel like this was just a little unreal. I want to think this is some kind of bad dream. My cheap escapism kept telling me that was true, over and over. Why is escapism? English I speak. Maria had gone back to sleep in the sofa Auntie Rosa was sitting in. Rather than her having nerves of steel, she probably genuinely hadn't had enough sleep. Hi, Rudolph. The adults were grasping members of Grandfather's collection of short-barreled rifles. Apparently, a remnant from the period when he was obsessed by westerns, there were 4 identical guns all together. Those have been split up between the 4 siblings: Uncle Klaus, Auntie Ava, my dad, and Auntie Rosa. The 4 people that probably don't need to have a gun right now. Paper boxes filled with bullets lay on the table, and the siblings were silently loading their guns.
なんだか怖い。こいつに触ってると、今でも親父に触るなって怒鳴られて、ぶん殴られるような気がするぜ。
ならよかったな。いくら触っても、もう殴られることはない。
Klaus! He just died, man!
信じられないわ。あのお父様がこんな最後を迎えるなんて。
金蔵さんに限って普通に床で亡くなるようなことはないだろうと思っていましたが、それにしてもむごすぎる。
ねえ、あれは本当にお父様なのかしら。私は別人の死体でごまかした替え玉を疑ってるんだけど。
But who? Who? I mean, that could be a possibility, but...
いいえ、あれは間違いなくお父様です。足の指をご覧になったでしょう。世間広しといえど、両足の指が6本の人間はそうはいませんよ。でもいないとも言えない。多子症は珍しくない病気だと聞いたわ。大仕掛けの大好きな方なんでしょ。どこかで両足の指の数が自分と同じな遺体を手配したかもしれないわ。バカバカしい。そんなこと何のためにするというのですか。
普通の人にならわしもそう言うわ。しかしあのお父さんや、 キリエさんの話も全くの口頭無形とは言い切れんのやないか。
Okay, I do have some, question about this puzzle about whether or not that burnt body was Kinzo. I do have a question. What's the condition of the foot? Like, I know that the rest of the body's been all burnt up and all, but the foot remained. A foot with 6 toes remain. Maybe 2 feet. Do the feet look young or old? They never describe how the feet looks like. Because if it was Kinzo, it might have been a wrinkly-ass foot. Or at least a rougher foot. If it was someone else who might have been a little bit younger, the foot might have been, not as rough. I'm just going by, how older people have more wrinkly and rough skin than young people. That's what I'm going off of. So yeah, as long as we, are not sure about the looks of the foot, I can't be sure myself if that was Kinzo or not. There's been no description of what the foot actually looks like, if it was wrinkled or not, from what I remember. It might have a description when they found the foot in the first game in the boiler room, but I don't know if it has that, if that's the same case again though. Yeah, I need to know the condition of the foot and how old it looks in order to make a decision on whether or not that could be Kinzo. So yeah, that's my question. What's the foot's condition?
焼死体は身元の確認が難しいという。だが歯型とか骨格とかいろいろ調べる方法はあるはずさ。警察が調べれば一発で身元なんかわかるに決まってる。
問題は警察より先に電話技師が必要だという点だがね。
この台風じゃ船は来られないでしょうね。なら明日になるのかしら。
おそらく明日の9時にもう一度船が来てくれるでしょう。そこで警察に連絡できると思います。
私たちも、そして犯人も、つまりは台風が通り過ぎるまでこの島に閉じ込められたってわけね。
That angle. Just from our parents' conversation, you could probably figure out the general gist, but let's explain the situation anyway. First, early that morning, in various places throughout the mansion, a total of 6 corpses of grandfather and all the servants have been found one after another. And let's see the condition of their bodies, human side. Ushirmiya Kinzo, discovered as a burnt corpse from the incinerator and underground boiler room. So he's in the boiler room again. As there were no signs that he fought to get out of the incinerator, it seems reasonable to think that he was burned after he was murdered. Too bad this time. Game over right at the very start. Found in the boiler room 2 times. That's the only place his body's been found. And as there were no signs that he fought to get out of the incinerator, it seems reasonable to think that he was burned after he was murdered. He was already dead before he even got into the incinerator. Okay, well, that could definitely help a little bit more too. Kinzo's been dead, but I didn't expect him to be this... How freshly is he dead? Well, okay, I knew that he died in this episode, but I'm talking about before everything. Like, I believe that Kinzo died before everything that happened, coming from, how nobody except for the servants have seen him in the game, other than some questionable scenes with Natsui, Rosa, and Klaus. Though I don't think Rosa actually saw Kinzo, while Klaus and Natsui can see him. So yeah, this little character sheet kind of shows that he might have been a corpse for a lot of the time, since every time they discovered him, he was found in the boiler room in the incinerator, probably to cover up his exact time of death, which could have been weeks before or months before. Probably weeks before. If it was months before, I don't know how they could have gotten away with hiding that he was dead for that long. And yes, I kind of am insinuating that Claus and naturally know that Kinzo's dead from my theory. For which, you know what? Claus does seem pretty suspicious whenever he contacts Kinzo, so he might know that Kinzo's been dead this whole time. Oh, maybe that's why he's been using the money. Instead of actually embezzling, he took all the money without telling his siblings. Oh god, that's even worse. That's even worse, dude. Come on. But yeah, this whole character sheet basically helps, you know, my theory that Kinzo's been dead this whole time. This definitely helps it. Ronoe Genji. Corpse discovered in the second floor VIP room. The murder weapon is assumed to be a gun or a spear-shaped object. In appreciation for his many years of service, Genji shall be permitted to sleep in the VIP room. Alright. Shannon. Corpse discovered in the parlor on the first floor. The murder weapon is assumed to be a gun or a spear-shaped object. For Shannon, the parlor, whose view of the rose garden was beautiful on sunnier days. Cannon. Corpse discovered in the chapel. They went to the chapel? The murder weapon is assumed to be a gun or spear-shaped object. The chapel for Cannon, even after death, keep on protecting the place important to the Lord. So the adults went to the chapel and to find Cannon? Why would they go to the chapel? That's my question. Why did they go to the chapel? Maybe to check it, but why would they approach that area if they barely, you know, approach it to begin with? Interesting. Maybe they were just doing a whole sweep of the parts of the island they know of, so maybe that's why they went to the chapel. Goda Toshiro. Corpse discovered in the third floor servants' quarters. The murder weapon is assumed to be a gun or a spear-shaped object. He wanted to gain Kinzo's favor. The room next to the study is appropriate for him. Kumasawa Chiyo. Corpse discovered in the second floor guest room. The murder weapon is assumed to be a gun or spear-shaped object. The seldom used guest room on the second floor was her secret napping spot. It seems like Ronove, or Ronoe, as I've been corrected by the comments to pronounce his name, it seems like he has been putting the serpents in various places of, you know, various places of okay, he's been putting them in places where they would like to be in for their final, you know, resting place. All the spots that all the serpents were discovered are in places that, when you think about it in a morbid sense, is a nice place to leave their corpses. Like for Genji, he sleeps in the VIP guest room. For Shannon, her body's in the room with a good view. For Cannon, he's still protecting something even after death. For Goda, he's close to Kinzo like he wanted to. And Kumasawa, she's just in a place where she usually naps. Yeah, that's Kumasawa's happy place. So yeah, it seems like Ronove. I'm just gonna say Ronove. I don't know, like, it's supposed to be pronounced Ronoe, like, you know, Ronoe Genji, but I want to pronounce it as Ronove because I like the V sound. So I'm gonna say for Ronove instead of Ronoe. Because I like the V sound. Anyways. First, grandfather had been fed to the flames in the boiler room, and was completely burnt. The servants were found dead, each locked in one of the various rooms throughout the mansion, onto which magic circles had been drawn. The cause of death for the servants was uncertain, but according to Dr. Nanjo's diagnosis, there was a high likelihood that they had been stabbed by something like a spear. or possibly shot by a gun. That was why the adults had started arming themselves with the rifles. And what made the situation even more chaotic was that the telephone lines were out of order. It was unknown whether lightning had caused them to break down, or whether the culprit had destroyed them. In any case, contact with the outside was broken off, and we couldn't contact the police. So, until tomorrow morning, when the typhoon would pass and the boat would come, we would have to protect ourselves. After all, Rokunjima was now isolated by the typhoon. And just like how we were stuck on the island, so was the culprit. It seemed that the adults had stayed up the whole night, spending the whole time holding the family conference in the mansion's dining hall. And even so, this crime had occurred in the mansion. So right when the adults had been getting worked into a frenzy over money, the murderer had been killing under the same roof. Aunt Natsui said that they were strict on locking the doors and windows at night. And yet, some suspicious person had entered the mansion. The adults had decided that the inside of the mansion was too large to be safe. So they had pulled out the guns and moved to the guest house, where we had been. Which brings us to the present. George and Nikki and us others begged to see Shannon-chan's body. But the adults refused point blank, saying that we must not until the police arrive. That wasn't just because they had sealed all the rooms to preserve the scene. After all, the culprit who had killed 6 people had wandered about that mansion. To the Ushiyamiya family right now, the mansion, which should have been their home, was like a danger zone that an unknown murderer had entered. It makes sense. I mean, the mansion is vast. There are plenty of blind spots and dark places, and it's just too vast to guarantee absolute safety with this number of people. In contrast, the guest house is a much smaller building than the mansion. 2 stories tall. Number of rooms, about 10. Apparently, it had been originally constructed to serve as a boarding house for when the island was to be turned into a resort. So it's easy to grasp the entire structure, and easy to guarantee safety. That makes it a good place to hole up in. And there's an extremely high likelihood that this mass murder of 6 people is a game. Because the culprit had proclaimed that in a letter. I heard that a Western-style envelope with the family crest, just like the one Maria claimed to have received from Beatrice yesterday, had been found in the boiler room where grandfather's corpse had been discovered. This is what the letter said. So that there will be no misunderstandings, the game I seek is whether or not you can solve the riddle of the epitaph. Not whether or not you can catch me. If you do not solve the riddle of the epitaph, the pitiful sacrifices will further increase in number. It would be more wise to spend your time solving the epitaph than searching for me. If no one can solve the riddle of the epitaph, no one will survive. If a person appears with skill enough to solve the riddle of the epitaph, I will give them all the gold to the Golden Land, the Ushiyamiya family headship, and all my power. I was the one who succeeded the Ushiyamiya family headship from Kinzo-sama. And I look forward to seeing who will receive the headship from me. Beatrice the Golden. This riddle of the epitaph was that thing. that strange epitaph written in the same place as the portrait of the witch, displayed in the hall of the mansion. Grandfather was the one who ordered that be written, and the person who solved it would, supposedly, be given the family headship, or the hidden gold, or something like that. Ever since it was first displayed there several years ago, all the relatives, despite making fun of it in the open, had been secretly been challenging that riddle in private. However, up until today, no one had solved it. We had once again been told to solve that unintelligible riddle, and this time, we had been threatened that if we didn't solve it, we would all be killed. If this wasn't a game, what would you call it? The bold opinion that we should search the premises for the culprit did come up once. However, there was a good chance they were armed, and there wasn't necessarily only one of them. And, while they might have been able to kill more than 6 people, they had stopped at 6. In the end, the opinion that we should avoid carelessly antagonizing the culprit and hole up in a safe place while we waited for the police to arrive won out. Well, that's the obvious choice. Don't fuck with the killer. After the adults had carefully checked that the doors and windows in the guest house were locked, they set up camp in the lobby. And as they fingered their guns to distract themselves from the tension, their expressions showed that they were already fatigued from this long day, which had still barely begun. Let's hope those guns have a safety on. Because if they don't, at any moment someone's gonna accidentally pull the trigger and shoot off their gun in front of everyone. Oh god, I wonder what would happen if that actually were to happen, if someone actually did a misfire in the tense lobby. In the tense guest room lobby, if someone did a misfire, I would love to see the chaos that would ensue. If that happened. There was nothing that I could do. Now, all I could do was be taught how to use a gun. To prepare for the off chance that something would happen which led to an excess of guns. That's the way. Just obediently stay there. Me and the rest of you.
また最初は6人か。
Where?
しかも、今回はじい様と使用人が全部まとめてときたもんだ。
おそらく、あの子は前回のゲームでのあなたの指し手を慎重に研究したのでしょう。そしてあなたが最初に疑うと高い確率で推定される駒を最優先で奪ったに違いありませんよ。
筋だな。前回も前々回も屋敷に精通しマスターキーを持ち歩く使用人たち全員は常に最高順位で疑わしい人物だった。前回のゲームの例えばジェシカの密室がいい例だ。使用人が犯人であることを認めさえすればあんなのは密室でも何でもない。
故にあの子はそこを真っ先に切りに切った。あなたがやがて逃げ込むであろう退路を真っ先に塞ぎに来たのでしょ
う。ベアトはすでに赤でこの島には19人以上いないと宣言している。それはつまり諦めろってことだ。もう俺は18人の誰かを疑わざるを得ない。
But with that logic, it would have to be either the parents, who were all discussing in the guest room. I mean, no, in the dining room, not guest room. Oops. Hold on. Okay, so with that line of thought, the culprit would have to be one of the parents. who are all discussing in the dining hall, Nanjo, who was sleeping in the guest house, or one of the kids who were in the cousin's room. So the most suspicious person would be Nanjo, unless one of the servants faked their deaths. For which, that's not out of the realm of possibility. That's not out of the realm of possibility, but it's getting to the point where it's very heavily pointing the direction of Beatrice, but I still am not going to say that Beatrice did anything. I'm still not going to say that she did anything. And if we go by the technicality that if they were to not count Kinzo because he was dead prior to the game, if we were to use that logic as well, there could be a hidden person that no one's been accounting for. The actual 18th person that's not, Kinzo. If we're not counting Kinzo as that person. Because if Kinzo was dead beforehand, would he still count as one of the 18? Because he is dead. If he died beforehand, he is already dead, so would he count if he was already dead? I'm going really hard with this Kinzo is dead theory, but I'm actually all in on this. I'm all in on Kinzo being dead this whole time. So, there could be another person on the island that could be technically the 18th person who could be carrying out or, assisting with the crimes, or be the mastermind of the crimes. That is a possibility, actually. That is a real possibility if we're not counting Kinzo as one of the 18, since he might be dead the whole time. But the only way to learn the answer of this is playing.
あの子はその18人の駒をすべて奪い切った上で存在しないはずの19人目として降臨し、あなたに自らが魔女であることを認めさせる手で来るでしょう。魔法を見せつけることで強引に屈服させる。恫喝的手法がもはや通じない以上、あの子にさせるのは成功法だけなのですから。
上等だ。もうハッタリは通用しねえぜ。
気をつけて。まやかしは魔女の最も得意とするところ。あの子が何を言おうと何を見せようと、あなたが信じる真実を決して脅かすことなどできないのです。それを忘れないで。
おう、そう何度も同じ手が通用してたまるかってんだ。出てこいよ、ベアトリーチェ。おっ始めようぜ。
Here we go! Answer.
すでに勝負のテーブルに着席しておるわ。わらわの手番もすでに終了しておる。
マダムを敵に回すことになるとは厄介ですね、お嬢様。手の内をだいぶ読まれますよ。
構わん。お師匠様の指し手などすでに時代遅れの古典よ。恐るるに足りぬわ。
あなたが私の教えた古典以上の何をさせるのか期待していますよ、ベアトリーチェ。
いいのか、バートラン。魔女を否定するそなたが魔女を軍師につけても。
くだらねえ挑発は無用だ。こいつは俺の相談役、いやセコンドだ。ガチンコで殴り合うのは俺とお前だってことには何の変化もない。
分かっておる。よちよちのお前には自転車にも補助輪が必要だろう。好きにするがよい。さあ始めろ。お前の手番だ。
Dancing pipe.
現場の再構築から始める。バルギリア、早速頼む。
最初の遺体発見はシャノンから。屋敷内の1階客間より発見されました。扉と窓は施錠され密室を構成していました。
ベアトに説明要求。密室の定義を再確認。
密室の定義は内外の出入りが一切隔絶された室内を指す。当然内外からの一切の侵入脱出はおろか干渉もできない。それは包括的に隠し扉の否定、外部干渉の余地一切の否定を含む。以後この定義をベアトリーチェの密室定義と呼称する。
細部確認。外部干渉の余地の定義とは？
外部から釣り糸やら長くて細い棒やらなどを使って直接的に干渉するあらゆる余地だ。つまり扉や窓にはそのような小細工を混ぜる隙間すらもないと判断せよ。
どうかな。仮に隙間がなくてもリモコンなどの電波は干渉できるはずだぜ。
よかろう。電波などそれに類する遠隔操作技術も干渉不可能であると定義に追加する。
客間には内線電話もあるぜ。それと連動した仕掛けは遠隔操作にはならねえのか？
電話はすでに使用不能だろうが。ああ、もう面倒だ。それも含めようぞ。直接間接のあらゆる方法で室外よりの密室内への干渉は不可能だ。
声やノックは密室に入らずに外部から干渉できるはずだぜ。
密室であっても声をかけることやノックは不可能ではなかろう。意思疎通の可否は密室の定義に反しない。
つまり外部との伝達方法までは途絶していると定義できないんだな。
そうなります。
了解したぜ。シャノンちゃんの客間はそのベアトリーチェの密室定義を満たすってんだな。
その通りだ。
密室定義了解した。ワルキリア続けてくれ。
はい。シャノンの遺体はマスターキー1本を所持。発見した親族がこれを回収。
ベアトに副賞要求。今回のマスターキーの本数は？
前回と同じ。各使用人が1本ずつで5本だ。
ってことは密室にはまだならねえってわけさ。マスターキーはまだ4本余ってる。シャノンちゃんを殺害後4本の鍵のいずれかで施錠するだけの話だ。
その通りでございます。そして見つかったのはマスターキーだけではありませんよ。
はい。遺体のすぐ傍らに紋章入りの養鶏封筒が。中に手紙はなく2階客室の鍵が入っていました。
Oh, it was like a messed up scavenger hunt.
2階客室の鍵。それは2階客室の扉をマスターキー以外に唯一開けることができる鍵だという定義でいいのか？
問題ないぞ。そしてマスターキーと違いその1本しかない。
つまりある特定の部屋を開けるにはマスターキー5本に加えその1本しかないというわけです。
これはつまり次は2階客室へ行けというメッセージなのか？となると大人たちは2階客室へ移動したな。
Okay, so that makes the chapel stuff actually make sense now if they were led there by a weird scavenger hunt of letters.
はい。2階客室の扉もまた施錠され魔法陣が描かれていました。親族はシャノンの遺体脇より入手したその鍵によって解錠。 内にて熊沢の遺体を発見。室内は密室。定義はベアトリーチェの密室定義に準拠。熊沢はマスターキー1本を所持。これを親族が回収。そしてシャノン同様に遺体の傍らに養鶏封筒を発見。中には3階控室の鍵が。親族は3階控室へ移動。
そして3階控室の扉にも魔法陣でさらに施錠されていて。
はい。室内にてゴーダの遺体を発見。室内は密室。ベアトリーチェの密室定義に準拠。ゴーダはマスターキー1本を所持。これを親族が回収。そしてこれまで同様に紋章入りの養鶏封筒を発見。
To the next place!
中より2階貴賓室の鍵が。親族は2階貴賓室へ移動。
何なんだこいつは。てめえ何を企んでやがる。
そう睨むほどのものでもあるまい。密室ではあるが、それを開けるマスターキーはまだ何本もあるではないか。律儀にマスターキー以外の固有の鍵も進呈している。
But so far, unless we know the times the rooms were locked from the outside, we don't know whether or not, the killings happened in the same order. Like, okay, I'm just gonna go through how this can easily be countered unless she says in red the times when the doors were locked. So yeah, they might have found Shannon's body in the parlor. They might have found her body in the parlor with a master key and the key to the next room. So what if they locked the rooms in the order like that, or they locked the rooms out of order? Like, let's just say that, for example, they they placed Shannon's body down in the parlor, they put the guest room key into the envelope and leave her master key behind. They lock that room with someone else's master key, and then they do the same for the servants with the master keys until, well, we get to the very end. So depending on the way they actually, timed out each and every locking of each room, this could easily be debunked depending on whether or not she declares in red when the rooms are locked. So this might be one of the easier puzzles if you really think about it, because all you need to know is the information on when the rooms are locked.
気に入らねえ展開だぜ。だが展開は読めてきた。この調子で6人続いてくってわけか。
はい、その通りです。2階貴賓室にて源氏の遺体を発見。マスターキー1本を回収。地下ボイラー室の鍵を発見。
Alright, that's interesting.
地下ボイラー室へ移動。地下ボイラー室にて金蔵の遺体を発見。
So far there was 4 master keys discovered, so all we need is the last master key. If Kinzo doesn't have that last master key... Oh no, it still depends on the timing of when they found each of the bodies, so... This does not destroy my theory that unless the rooms of when they were locked is confirmed, until they're confirmed, the order, there's no way that can prove whether or not a witch could have done it, because we don't know the order the rooms were locked in. We're only hearing the order that the bodies were discovered.
礼拝堂の鍵を発見。礼拝堂に移動。礼拝堂にてカノンの遺体を発見。マスターキー1本を回収。 1階客間の鍵を発見。以上で6名の遺体発見の再構築を終了します。
補足です。金蔵の遺体の傍らで発見された養鶏封筒には礼拝堂の鍵と一緒に手紙が同封されておりました。手紙の内容はすでにご確認の通り、碑文の謎を解くよう改めて催促する内容です。
ってことはなんだよこれ。最後のカノン君のところに一番最初のシャノンちゃんの客間の鍵があったってことは。
Come on, Balor, ask about the order the rooms were locked.
密室が6つ呪術つなぎになってるってことなのか。
その通り。6つの密室が数珠つなぎになっておる。
Alright, let me go ahead and show what I'm talking about. Oh, I can't remove the text box, but okay. Let me go ahead and show what I'm thinking of about the whole scenario of this locked room. So yes, there is a key locked for each room, and let's go through each and every room real quick in order for my mind to process for how this could have been done. I'm gonna draw this out on a piece of paper as I go through. So for the first locked room scenario, let's just say that this right here, this circle, the first room was the room where Shannon was discovered with Master Key and the second guest floor room. Yeah, the second floor guest room. Alright, so this first room is Shannon with 2 keys that were in her room. And then the next room that they went to was the room where Kumasawa was found, where they found a master key along with the key to the 3rd floor guest room. I don't know, 3rd floor servant room. Okay, so... Alright, 1 second. And then the next room they went to after that is the 2nd floor... Wait, okay. Yeah, okay, then they go to the 3rd floor servant room where Goda is, and then they go back to the VIP room on the 2nd floor. So let me go ahead and write this out real quick. Okay. MK, 2nd VIP. And then in the 2nd floor VIP room, there was Genji. Genji with Master Key and Boiler Room Key. Then there was Kinzo in the Boiler Room with the Chapel Key. And at last, there is Cannon in the chapel with the parlor key. Alright, so I went ahead and drew out this whole scenario with the details on this piece of paper. So depending on how each and every rooms were locked, I could easily discover, the order that a human or a non-witch culprit could have locked these rooms. So, let me think for a second. Alright, the way this could have been done.
それぞれを解錠する鍵はそれぞれ隣り合う密室によって閉じ込められている。つまり6つの密室が1つの巨大密室を形成し、その中に全てのマスターキーと固有鍵全てを閉じ込めてしまっているのだ。ちなみに6つの部屋の扉や窓はいずれも普通。オートロックのような鍵を使用せず施錠できるような仕掛けは存在しない。どうだよ、綺麗なもんだろう。
ですからお嬢様、そのあたりに品がございません。
When Ronove rebuked her, I'm going to call Ronove, I confirm that now. When Ronove rebuked her, Beato stuck her tongue at him shamelessly.
悪い悪い。ついついバトラと遊んでると上機嫌になってしまうのでな。それでバトラ、お前の指し手はどうなんだよ。特に思いつかないんなら わらわがヤギたちに遺体を運ばせて魔法にて全ての扉を封じるところを特別に見せてやってもいいんだぜ。
好きにしろ。お前の主張する魔法説として拝聴しとく。だが俺はお前の主張とは全く異なる人間説を、お前の主張に一切干渉されることなく主張することができる。それはつまりお前のざれ言に耳を貸す必要は何もないってことさ。好きに魔法の杖でも振るって七色の魔法で扉を閉めるところでも実演してろってんだ。隣でそのうちガマの油と万能包丁の実演も始まるぜ。バルギリア、事件現場を再構築。穴を探すぜ。全員は間違いなく死亡してるのか、誰かが死んだふりしてんならこんなの密室でもなんでもねえ。
That's also a thought process that could be very helpful.
南條は全員の死亡を確認。ただし誤信率の否定は悪魔の証明により不可能。つまり誰かが生きているのを南條が見逃した可能性をゼロにすることはできません。
Unless it's confirmed in red, one of them could have faked the death.
来たな、悪魔の証明か。
Wait, can you lock a door from the inside of a room if you play dead? I think so. If you play dead, you can lock a room from the inside. So, that's where this could also be debunked using the human theory if one of them faked the death. But that would mean Nanjo is also in on it. That would mean Nanjo's also in on it.
だがそいつをぶった切る剣は存在する。
なんだよあいつら。わらわをのけ者にして楽しそうだな。わらわは対戦者であるぞ。少し構えというのに。
Poor Beatrice.
本来チェスを対戦するのにあたり相手とのコミュニケーションは不要です。お嬢様は指し手以外のコミュニケーションによって煙に巻いていた。それに惑わされないということはつまりこういうことなのでしょう。
なぜだか納得がいかぬ。
お嬢様はチェスを挑んでいるはずではないのですか。
それもそうだが。
Beatrice puffed out her cheeks, as though saying, I don't know why, but I don't like it.
警察未介入の現場につき人間側からの検証は限界があります。厳密な死亡確認のため復唱要求することを推奨します。
よっしゃ、ここで叩くぜ。復唱要求だ。被害者6人は全員死亡している。
お嬢様、復唱要求が出ておりますよ。
おい、ぼんやりするな。復唱拒否か。ここからが戦闘開始だ。
おったとったすまぬすまぬ。いいぞ応じるぞ。
Oh, she's actually gonna say it.
金蔵、源氏、シャノン、カノン、ゴーダ、熊沢の6人は死亡している。
Dread the grave, but with more fear? Wait, that's what the song said, right? Dread the grave with more fear? Huh?
何をぼんやりしてるんだか。よし、まずは一つ引き出したぞ。死んだふりって王道はまず否定されたな。
Unless they committed suicide as soon as they locked the door! I'm sorry, I had to go with that idea, just throw it out.
もはや手加減などせぬぞ。好きなだけ来るがよい。 次々斜め切りにしてくれるわ。
続けて副賞要求。6つの部屋には誰も隠れていない。俺たちが認識していない人物の存在を否定してみせろ。
大鶴、6つの部屋には誰も隠れていない。
Okay.
よし、これで6人だけの缶詰は確定だな。そして死んだふりもない。
どうするどうする。
Yeah, what I said earlier. What's it if they lock the door and then they kill themselves? But how would they have the weapon? Ice pick weapon! Wait, how would they get a hold of that?
人間にはもはやどうしようもないであろうが、おとなしくわらわが素敵な魔法で鍵を自由自在にするところをひざまずいて拝見しろよ。
Not yet.
寝言言ってろ。さらに副賞要求だ。6人の死亡は即死である。
即死？ほう、どういう意味だそれは。
犠牲者の一人が瀕死の状態で部屋まで逃げ延び、内側から施錠して密室を作った後、息絶えた可能性もあるということですよ。
密室殺人の古典ですか。致命傷を与え、しばらく後に死ぬことを確実とした場合、犠牲者が殺人者から逃れるために部屋にこもり、施錠後に死亡したなら、予期せずして密室が構成されることはあり得ます。
その可能性を否定するには、赤き真実にて6人は即死であったことを宣言する必要がありますよ。
Oh, that's a really good thing to get in red, if it can get in red.
よかろうよかろう。赤き宝刀にて切り伏せよう。6人は即死であった。
Alright.
即死とはつまり攻撃を受けて即座に行動不能になったという意味だ。
Still does not X out the possibility of suicide.
まあ完全な意味での死亡には数秒もしくは数分をかけたかもしれん。だがいずれにせよ自らの意思で何かの行動を取ることは完全に不可能であった。その意味において即死と断言できる。
ここまでは古典の確認だ。お前との密室対決はここからだぜ。犯人は内側にいないなら外にいる。そして外からどうにかして彼らを殺したんだ。
何を血迷うか。密室イコール外部からの殺害は不可能であろうが、故に魔法殺人しかありえない。
いや違うね。殺人は現に起こったイコール密室ではないが正しいのさ。
I got with a bullshit theory. Oh my god, can I say a bullshit theory? Okay, I'm gonna say the bullshit theory right now. If Kinzo's not dead, then he killed all 5 of the servants, and then right after he killed all the servants, he jumped right into the incinerator after locking in the It's bullshit because there's so many flaws in that one, but I don't know, I think that's my favorite theory so far. Kinzo did it and then jumped into the incinerator. I mean, he didn't struggle because he did it himself. That was not meant to be on time. I did not plan on that to be on time for what I said. The Umineko soundtrack is really good with its timing, even though it tries not to be great with timing. It just tries to be good for being good. but it's also perfect in any sense of timing for everything that happens in this game. Like, whenever you say something or press a button, the music works with what you said because it's just perfect timing all around, most of the time. I don't know what I'm talking about.
お前がどう煙に巻こうと、これは断じて密室じゃない。密室に見えるだけのまがいものだ。
しかしバトラー様、室内には犠牲者しかおらず、それ以外の人物は室内には存在しておりません。そしてお嬢様の密室定義により、外部からの遠隔殺人も明確に否定されておりますよ。
まあちな、遠隔殺人の定義は広大だぜ。何も部屋の外から釣り糸を引っ張って室内の犠牲者を絞め殺したとか、そんなのばかりじゃねえ。例えばトラップだって立派な遠隔殺人だ。
A trap?
トラップ？ほう、それは何か？
一例だが、彼らにあらかじめ決められた部屋に入り、内側から施錠して自ら密室を作り出すように指示を出す。そして室内には彼らがそれとは知らないトラップが仕掛けられており、それによって彼らは殺された。どうだ、これなら矛盾は生じない。
問題ありません。現状と整合します。
当方も問題ありませんよ。お嬢様の密室定義にも抵触しません。
なんだその間抜けな推理は。いずれの室内にも不審なものは発見されなかったぞ。そのトラップはどのような形状なのか、どこに隠してあってどう作動したというのか、それを6人分、客間、客室、機械室、貴賓室、ボイラー室、礼拝堂の6つで説明してみせよ。どうだ、できまい。
反論拒否。それを説明する必要はねえ。にもかかわらず俺の主張は揺るがない。
なんだと？
ベアトリーチェ、悪魔の証明ですよ。そのトラップの形状を説明できないことがすなわちトラップ否定の理由にはなり得ない。
Oh, Val is becoming a demon.
うまい。強引ながら見事な一手です。
こいつすっかり手慣れおって。
チェック。発見できていない殺人トラップ X によりこの密室殺人は成立可能だ。
赤き真実にてそのチェックを切る。
Do it!
6人はトラップで殺されてはいない。
Okay. Val still seems to be fine.
トラップの定義は
あれだ、犠牲者が勝手に引っかかって発動するやつとかだ。それだけじゃない。リモコンで発動するとかタイマーで発動するとか、そういうのもろもろ全部含めたやつだ。
仕掛け人が直接関与することなしに殺人を遂行できる全ての仕掛けという定義でよろしいかと思いますよ。
どうだ、切り返したぞ。人間にこの密室が破れてたまるか。
お前も勝つために必死だな。
何？どういう意味だ。
お前は自分の存在を俺に認めさせようと必死に戦ってる。今まで俺は一方的にお前にいじられてるだけだと思ってた。しかし実際は違った。 お前もまた俺の切り返しに必死に抗い自分の存在を示そうと戦っている。俺はよ今ようやく実感してるぜ。
This isn't torture inflicted on me about whether I'll submit or not.
俺とお前の対等な戦いなんだ。さて面白くなってきたぜ。6人は密室で死に部外者は中に誰もいない。そして外部からはちょっかいは一切出せずトラップもないときた。これまでの俺だったらこれはもう魔法の仕業しかありえねえだろうと思うだろうよ。このタイミングでお前におかしな魔法を実演されたらそりゃ屈服もしてただろうさ。これがお前の得意戦術だ。俺の指し手を全て迎撃しきり俺が万策尽きたと膝をつく。心の防御力が弱るその瞬間にこれ見よがしにおかしな魔法を見せつけて一気に勝負を持っていく。
昔から短気な性分で勝ちの目が見えると焦る悪い癖は相変わらずです。
お嬢様はお預けができない性分ですから。
うるさいうるさいぞ。バトラの手番であるぞ。そなたが進めたトラップの駒はわらわが赤にて切り捨てた。次は何を繰り出すのか存分に来るがよい。
おっトラップまで潰され一見こいつは完全な密室犯罪に見える。だからこそここでチェス盤をひっくり返すぜ。
来たそなたの得意技よ。何をどうひっくり返せるというのか見せてみろ。
ああ見せてやる。いかにして密室の中の6人を外から殺すかを考えるんじゃない。ああダメだダメだ全然ダメだ。そうさどうやって外から殺すかじゃない。どうやって中で死んで密室にするかなんだ。そうさこれが答えなのさ。犠牲者6人の中に犯人が含まれていたと考えればこの密室は極めて容易に説明できる。
Is he gonna go with the ice pick theory I thought of this as a joke?
何
Well, it wasn't much of a joke. It could actually be plausible ice pick.
バカな。その6人は死んだとはっきりわらわは赤で言ったはず。
死んだのは6人犠牲者は殺された5人もう1人は自殺だったと仮定すればこの密室は打ち破れる。
確かに犯人が最後の密室に自ら入って施錠し自らの命を絶てばこの連鎖密室は成立します。
犯人の自殺普通では考えられない一手ですが考えられないから存在しないは存在しない。そしてその動機を立証する義務は彼にない。魔女とのチェスでしか使えない実に力強い一手。
まあ動機がないとは言い切れませんね。例えば金蔵は余命があとわずかと宣告されています。
Oh no, please don't fucking tell me! Oh no! They're gonna actually state what I said earlier.
残りわずかの生を惜しまず自らの死をメッセージとしたという動機づけも不可能ではないかもしれません。お嬢様こちらの手番ですよ。
まさか死者の尊厳を踏みにじってまで犯人を生み出してくるとはな。こやつ血も涙もない男よ。
死者を犯人に仕立て上げるこの非道なる一手は 前回のゲームでお前がカノン君を陥れた一手だ。この手でお前に一矢報いることが、ゲームは異なるが、あの時のカノン君への手向けだ。
Yeah, because these are different games, each time I always have to ponder, are the people who are in each game the same as they were before? Like, let's say in one game, this person's a culprit. Are they the culprit the next game, or is there different culprits for each game? I think there's different culprits for each game. I think that's the case.
今、俺はあの時のカノン君の無念を晴らした。
ここで手を休める義理はありませんよ。全員の死因が自殺でないことを確認すべきです。復讐の要求を推奨します。
ああ、だが自殺なんて甘い言い方じゃ追い詰められねえぜ。ベアト、こいつで詰めだ。復讐要求、6人は全員他殺である。
これは痛いですね。
ああ、どうしたよ。6人が殺されたんだろ。最も単純な一番最初の前提の確認でしかないぜ。復讐できねえのか。
復讐を拒否する。理由は特にない。
ここでの復讐拒否はリザインと同じ意味だぜ。チェックメイト。6人の中に犯人がいて、密室構築後に自殺を図った。
Oh my god, I was not expecting that to be the outcome.
以上だ。
待て。いや、言う望み通り赤を行使するぞ。6人は誰も自殺していない。
お、
どうだ、これで満足か。切り返したぞ、切り返した。
Balor's theme is still playing. His theme is still playing, Beatrice.
なんだよ、言えるじゃねえかよ。だがおかしいな。なんであんなに狼狽してるんだ。
気のせいよ。わらはもう今回は必死でな。そうそう心にゆとりもないのだ。深く気にするでない。
要求した復讐が改ざんされていますよ。ごまかされないように。
Wait. Modified? Wait, let me read what she said again. None of the 6 committed suicide. Oh, she did say they were all homicides! She only said... I get it now. She only said they were... None of the 6 committed suicide. She never clarified whether any of them were homicides!
ダメみたいですよ、お嬢さん。
そうか。6人全員他殺とは言ってない。6人全員自殺にあらずとこいつは言い換えた。ということは他殺でも自殺でもない人間が混じっているということだ。ああ、わかったぜ、わかったわかった。
Accidental death!
これが真相だ。6人の中に潜む犯人 X は5人を殺害後密室を構築した。そしてそこから何かの方法で逃れるか隠れるかするつもりだったんだ。ところが事故った。本人すらも想定しない理由により事故死し、自ら望まない密室殺人を構築したんだ。これで決まりだぜ、ベアトリーチェ。チェックメイトだ。
く の程度でわらわが追い詰められると思うか。この程度でリザインを叫ぶものか。その愚かなチェックメイト、わらわの赤き宝刀にて何度でも叩き切ってくれようぞ。6人の中に自己死は。
You're not saying it in red!
失礼。当方、ここで作戦タイムを所望いたします。しばしのご猶予をお許しください。
She didn't say it in red! Ah! We're on to something! We are on to something!
正当な要求です。問題ないかと。
おう、強化するぜ。俺も今まで散々そいつをもらってる。今度はお前がそれを使う番だぜ。
ありがとうございます。さあお嬢様、こちらへ。そして心の中で静かに数字を100数えましょう。
As Beato grew thoroughly panicked and agitated, Renove had quickly covered her mouth with his hand and suspended the game. He then pulled Beato away in the name of a strategy conference. Ah, they got cornered!
くそ。あの悪魔の執事め。ベアトが熱くなってる今が追い込む絶好のチャンスだったんだが。
Beato normally behaves elegantly, but she actually has a really short temper and gets mad easily. Her normal intelligence falls silent when she starts getting agitated.
ロノウェは冷静ですね。おそらくあの子に頭を冷やす時間を与えたのでしょう。あの子はあなたのチェックを外すことに意地になり、いくつかの大駒をやすやすと見捨てようとしていた。第一の番など初戦は前哨戦。
Name drop.
あの子は引き際を誤りかけた。
つまりどういうことだよ。俺のチェックメイトは成立したのかしないのか。
あの子は赤を宣言しかけていました。チェックメイトにはまだならないでしょう。しかしおそらく頭を冷やしたあの子はリザインを宣言するに違いありません。
まさかあの負けず嫌いがか。
ええ、負け戦は1秒でも早く兵を引き上げ、いかに損失を減らすかが肝要です。難しいのはそれが負け戦であるかどうかを測ること。あの子の執事はそれを冷静に判断したようです。
やれやれ。つまりあと一息のところで逃げられたってわけだな。ビシッと俺がチェックメイトを決めてとどめを刺すって流れには簡単にはならねえんだな。
でもこれはあなたの勝ちだと判断してよいでしょう。向こうはギリギリで大きな損失を踏みとどまったようですが、それでもかなりのダメージを与えたに違いありません。その傷の深さはあの子の狼狽ぶりから十分理解できたはずですよ。
だな。これ以上いじめたら泣き出しちまいそうだぜ。
Most definitely. As we talked, Renove returned with Beato, who wore a meek expression. She didn't have the same bold smile as usual, but it looked like the blood wasn't rushing to her head anymore.
よう、お前の出番だぜ。次の一手は決まったかよ。
リザインだ。
Mother.
この場はお前に勝ちを譲る。
Beato told me that frankly. It seemed as though she had taken a far-sighted view, as though saying, if you want to laugh, then laugh. It was a bit of a buzzkill, and I lost my desire to attack her further.
お前がリザインしたってのは結局のところ俺の説もお前の説も互いが相手を否定できないイーブンって意味だからな。負けってよりは引き分けって意味で受け取っとくぜ。
気持ち悪い同情などいらぬわ。この場はわらわの負けだと言っておる。そなたには雨に濡れた犬をさらに棒で叩く趣味があるというのか。
Not... No. No.
ねえよ。お前と違ってな。
Even though she ridiculed me horribly when I showed signs of defeat, she was so pathetic when it was her turn. I thought of her as a pretty unfair person, but I decided to act with dignity as a winner and accepted it. Beato had resigned. That was the only result of the First Twilight. Beatrice couldn't counter my move of one of the six was the culprit, and that person died in an accident. No, she probably could have countered it, but because of some strategic decision, she had given up. I felt less like I had won, and more like she had escaped me one step from victory. In chess against witches, it is possible to battle onward solely using pieces called X, which don't need explanation. Thanks to the Devil's Proof, I can create as many strange fictions as I want, and use them to fight in the argument. That's only within the context of chess with a witch. In our human world, such an abstract story can't explain anything. The First Twilight today was a chain of locked rooms. It certainly may be possible for a human. Beato hadn't been able to completely deny anything. However, I don't have a clue who committed the crime. Why and how they actually did it? I shouldn't say this having won, but I get the feeling that I would have felt less muddled if I had been told right out by Beatrice that it was completely impossible for a human. I mixed up my words, I'm sorry. Although I hide behind these abstract pieces called X, I couldn't deny that some kind of unthinkable, creepy intention had definitely pervaded this mansion. Umineko no Nakukori ni. Man! I begun this episode tired and now I'm fully awake. The key to the Golden Land. What does that mean? Wait, what? Wait, what does that mean? I guess I'm gonna figure out next time. But, oh my god, this episode woke me up. I was so tired when I begun filming. And this woke me up. That was awesome. I'm gonna be honest here. That was awesome how Battler was able to fight back during that. And, okay, my whole thing of, depending on the order the rooms were locked in, that could work, but also couldn't work the more I think about it. But right now, I'm just gonna go with Battler with the accidental death for now. But I am gonna say one thing. The way that Beatrice could not say that all the deaths were the homicide definitely adds to the fuel of Kinzo's been dead even before everyone came to the mansion. That does slightly support that in the way of Kinzo, when he had originally died, he did not die of homicide, He died of the illness that Nanjo has been saying that he is slowly dying of. Kinzo could not have been murdered because of maybe illness or old age, and that he didn't have much time left. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna end this video with a pink theory. Kinzo died before the family conference, and it was by disease or natural causes. Yes, I know having an or statement in a pink theory is a little bit bad, but I'm not 100% sure if Kinzo was dying of illness or of old age. Probably illness because, well, how can a doctor check how long someone has left if they are going to die of natural causes? So it's probably illness, but just to be safe, I added that or, just in case. But I'm leaning towards he died of some sort of illness that he didn't have much time left to live with. So yes, that's why Beatrice could not say that all 6 died of homicide, because if we go by, Kinzo's been dead this entire time. There is no way he could have gotten murdered, because he got killed by the illness that Nanjo said he had. And Nanjo is lying to everyone. And so is Klaus.
Okay.